तो क्या बॉन्ड इंडिया में लीगल है, वैलिड है और एम्प्लॉयज़ को बॉन्ड साइन करना चाहिए?
Literally speaking, no. But yes, there is another element to it.
हम लॉ सुनते हैं और हमें कोर्ट दिखाई देता है। एज एन इंस्पायरिंग स्टूडेंट ऑफ लॉ, कैन यू ब्रेक इट डाउन फॉर मी कि क्या क्या स्पेशलाइजेशंस हैं?
एडवोकेट और लॉयर, तो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन टू, और क्या ये सेम काम करते हैं?
आप जब लॉ स्कूल से निकलते हैं उस समय पे यू ग्रेजुएट एज अ लॉयर। आप एडवोकेट तभी बनते हैं जब आप बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया का जो ऑल इंडिया बार एग्जामिनेशन है वो क्लियर करते हैं।
2025 का एक बज़वर्ड है टर्मिनेशन। आज 10,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए, आज 5,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए, आज 2,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए।
So everybody is being laid off, but nobody might question the laying off process. The termination can happen for two reasons.
How to be a good corporate lawyer?
You're also trying to understand what the labor code is, like a student. Even I am trying to understand what the labor code is as a student.
One personal mantra to success that you follow?
My personal mantra to success would be that
हेलो ग्रोथ सीकर्स, मैं आप सबसे कुछ कॉमन चीज़ें पूछता हूँ। आपने एज अ जॉब सीकर एक कंपनी ज्वाइन की, बट कंपनी ज्वाइन करने के बाद आपको पता चला कि जो जो चीज़ें आपके ऑफर लेटर में लिखी गई थी वो तो हो ही नहीं रही हैं। रियलिटी तो बिल्कुल कुछ अलग है। या आपने कभी किसी को एज ए एम्प्लॉयर किसी को हायर किया और आपको पता चला कि जो चीज़ें रिज्यूम में लिखी गई थी और वो बंदा जो कर रहा है वो दे आर टोटली डिफरेंट। या आपने किसी के साथ एक बिजनेस डील नेगोशिएट की, लेकिन फॉर एक्स वाई जेड रीजंस आपकी पेमेंट्स नहीं आ रही हैं, या आपका एम्प्लॉय कोई आपकी चीज़ें लेके भाग गया है। इन सब कंडीशंस में आप क्या करते हैं? ये सब चीज़ें हम लोगों के साथ रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी में बहुत आम हो चुकी हैं। तो एज सिटीजन्स ऑफ इंडिया, हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और हमारा लॉ हमें क्या राइट्स देता है, इन्हीं सब चीज़ों पे हमने बात करने के लिए बुलाया है मिस्टर भार्गव हेमिगे को। ही इज़ वन ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट कॉर्पोरेट लॉयर्स इन अहमदाबाद। लेकिन इसके साथ साथ we'll also try to take you from confusion to clarity when it comes to your constitutional rights as an employee, constitutional rights as an employer, and how to make a career in the field of corporate law. So Bhargav ji, welcome to the M2S podcast.
thank you so much for having me, Swati ji and Chirindra bhai. Thank you for the very lovely introduction that you have extended. Right, it's a privilege to be here, and I hope that we have a very invigorating conversation. And I hope that this helps all of your listeners, all of our listeners, and somebody or everyone is able to benefit out of it.
So, भार्गव, we'll start from the very basics. हम लॉ सुनते हैं और हमें कोर्ट दिखाई देता है। एज एन इंस्पायरिंग स्टूडेंट ऑफ लॉ, कैन यू ब्रेक इट डाउन फॉर मी कि क्या क्या स्पेशलाइजेशंस हैं एंड मेरे लिए क्या क्या करियर ऑप्शंस होते हैं व्हेन आई प्लान टू स्टडी लॉ?
Right. So we'll take a step back here and we'll go back to law school. When you are actually pursuing your law school, at that particular point in time, you're introduced to a variety of subjects. There's a catalog of subjects that you're introduced to that varies from commercial law, business law, to intellectual property law, to labor law, to constitutional law, to several other aspects, right? Normal contractual, interpretation of statutes, jurisprudence, everything and anything connected in the stream of law is introduced to you. It is during that particular tenure that you develop some sort of an affinity with respect to a subject, and then you try to hone that particular subject, right? So therefore, law is a huge tapestry which consists of several threads, and everything is interwoven, right? So therefore, you have multiple opportunities. Once you are exiting out of law school and you've graduated out of law school, you take a call whether you want to be pursuing litigation, you take a call whether you want to be doing real estate work, you take a call whether you want to be joining a particular company in the capacity of in-house legal counsel, or do you want to be having a firm which does transactional advisory work, wherein you're assisting a lot number of investors and target entities, the VC segment, the PE segment, and all of these segments. So there's a huge potential that is available for a lot number of students to practice their respective streams of law, whatever they feel. So it's endless, right? So I have pursued the field of corporate and commercial law. That is one field that I chose for myself. After doing a lot of nitpicking and I say picked my brains a lot, I tried my hand on a lot number of things, and eventually this is something that I gravitated towards, right? So, but needless to mention that if you would have to be establishing a practice, or you would have to be developing an affinity for the stream of law, you will have to first fall in love with the subject, right? I believe that is an indispensable requirement of you pursuing law.
Okay, so you said you are a corporate law. a lawyer. What exactly a corporate lawyer does? Can you help me understand that?
Corporate lawyers are essentially lawyers in the most lay language, is that we are working with companies and corporates, and we are helping them navigate through the labyrinth of problems that they might be riddled with, right? Those problems may range from employee problems, employer problems. Those problems may range from investor relation problems. Those problems may be client related problems. Those problems may be operational problems. Those problems may be sexual harassment complaints, for that matter. It may be endless. So we are working with companies to make their lives easier and ensure that the persons who are spearheading that particular company's hair grow a bit gray or less, sir. Right. So in that pursuit, हमारे थोड़े बाल ज़्यादा सफ़ेद हो जाते हैं, but then yeah, that is primarily that is what we do.
Right.
भार्गव भाई, मैं ना बहुत एक दो टर्म सुनता हूँ आम बोलचाल की भाषा में, एडवोकेट और लॉयर. बहुत जगह व्हीकल्स के लिए लिखा होता है एडवोकेट, बहुत जगह लिखा होता है लॉयर. तो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन टू, और क्या ये सेम काम करते हैं या व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस?
आप जब लॉ स्कूल से निकलते हैं उस समय पे यू ग्रेजुएट एज अ लॉयर, ठीक है. आप एडवोकेट तभी बनते हैं जब आप बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया का जो ऑल इंडिया बार एग्जामिनेशन है वो क्लियर करते हैं, एंड यू आर रजिस्टर्ड एंड एनरोल्ड एज एन एडवोकेट, रजिस्टर्ड विद अ रिस्पेक्टिव स्टेट बार काउंसिल. दैट परमिट्स, और आपको एक सनद मिलता है, ठीक है ना, योर सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. दैट्स व्हाट वी टर्म, जस्ट एज सीएस आल्सो हैव अ सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस, सिमिलरली लॉयर्स आल्सो हैव अ सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस दैट ट्रांसफॉर्म्स देयर डेजिग्नेशन फ्रॉम अ लॉयर टू एन एडवोकेट. Right, so it is only advocates and not lawyers who can represent clients in a court of law.
Okay.
Right, lawyers cannot do that. There are lawyers, supposedly, if a particular student or a person intends to not practice advocacy, मतलब उनको कोर्ट कचहरी के काम में नहीं जाना है और वो कहते हैं कि मुझे नॉर्मल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का काम करना है या तो एक कंपनी के अंदर काम करना है, तो उसमें आपको एडवोकेट होने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. यू कैन स्टिल प्रैक्टिस इन द कैपेसिटी ऑफ अ लॉयर.
सो जैसे हम नोटरी वगैरह कराते हैं, दोज आर लॉयर्स.
Notary, they are a separate breed altogether. They have a separate examination. So therefore, I cannot affix my signatures or I cannot provide legitimacy or credibilize a particular document because I am not a notary. Right? They are governed by legislation. They are governed by a separate set of rules. So उनका अलग examination है. They are a separate breed of people in the wide spectrum of law.
So, भार्गव, आपने अभी बोला था कि you represent employee and employer rights. I want you to throw some light on employee and employer rights because अगर देखा जाए तो an employer is always the bad person whenever there is a situation or something. Are there any specific laws or any rights that you want to note it down or that you can highlight in perspective of employer and in perspective of employer?
We'll start with employee rights. There are certain rights that are inherently available to all employees that statutory legislations provide. Right? You have the payment of gratuity, you have PF, you have ESIC if they are applicable, you have the Maternity Benefit Act, you have several other legislations which have now, last evening, the previous evening, they have all been culminated into a new legislation which is the new labor codes, the 4 new labor codes that have come into play. So all of those labor codes are for workmen and employees for their benefit. Right? So I would first urge all of these employees, whoever is employed in any organization in whatsoever capacity, I would want them to be first understanding, considering that you have AI at your disposal आज, आप कुछ भी सर्च करके एक एटलीस्ट एक ब्रीफ समरी उसका निकाल सकते हैं कि what are my rights, right? And while you accept employment or when there is an opportunity that may be advanced to you, it becomes your responsibility, moral responsibility and a contractual responsibility to also seek adherence to those rights. ठीक है, कि आपके समझो कि अगर रात को अगर आप ओवर टाइम कर रहे हो या तो वर्किंग इन द नाइट, देयर इज अ सर्टेन लेवल ऑफ एडिशनल वेजेस दैट यू आर एंटाइटल्ड टू, राइट, एज ओवर टाइम वेजेस. Then there is one weekly holiday that you're supposed to be given. There are certain mandatory holidays that are required to be given as per the Gujarat Shops and Establishments Act. So all of those are rights of employees, right? If you are a woman, then there are certain additional rights that are available to you. If a woman is expected to be working in the night, then there are certain additional consents that are required of the woman, right, who wants to work in the night. और आपको उसके आने जाने की व्यवस्था करके रखनी पड़ेगी, उनका कन्वेयंस संभालना पड़ेगा. So all of those things are your rights that you should be aware of as a person who's seeking employment. सिर्फ आपके, because law is one thing that is impacting everyone, ठीक है ना. तो आप you will ultimately, I know that you might be good in the field of tech or you might be good in the field of manufacturing, but at the same point in time have some tertiary or superficial knowledge about all of these things so that you can negotiate better terms for yourself.
So भार्गव, these we spoke about all this, ये employee rights हैं, What are the rights of an employer?
Insofar as the rights of an employer is concerned, we might have to be, it's a double-edged sword, right? So we will have to be conscious of the fact that the employer is primarily proffering an opportunity to all of the employees to be gaining some elevated experience while working in their organization. That is one. It becomes the duty of the employer also to have a safe and conducive environment. एक अच्छा सा एक working culture आपको बिठा के रखना है. It should be safe for everyone. It should be a cordial working atmosphere. वो सारे उनकी duties तो है ही. There's a moral and ethical duties that everyone should follow. But on the legal, if you look at it from a legal prism, then it becomes the responsibility of the employer to ensure that they're also adhering to all of those laws that they are subjected to. Right, that is one. All of those legislations that we had mentioned before, वो सब उनको पालन करना पड़ेगा. But at the same point in time, they can expect something in return also. The expectation is the dedication of that particular employee. That is one. Secondly, if there is a certain amount of training that is being imparted by the employer onto the employees in the first few months, so as to ensure that the employee is able to catch up to speed. मतलब अगर कोई एक बंदा some employee had begun in C++ and that particular person now wants to work in the stream of Java, and that particular person might not know enough, then there's a certain level of preliminary knowledge and training that might have to be imparted to that particular gentleman or lady to ensure that that particular employee is able to work for the tasks that may be eventually be entrusted to him or her, और कल जाके वो कंपनी के बेनिफिट में आ पाए. इसीलिए there's now for that training there are certain people who might have been deployed. कुछ लोग उन्होंने रखे होंगे कि आप ट्रेनिंग दीजिएगा. There may be a supervisor, there may be a monetary department, there may be certain amount of money that might have been spent, there may be certain seminars, right, there may be certain webinars. Then constantly they are nitpicking stuff. We are being pedantic कि भाई आपने ये सही नहीं किया, वो नहीं सही किया, quality check करना, quality checks होना. So all of that takes certain amount of toll on the employer as well, right? And it is necessary for us to be humanizing it. This particular element of the entire equation is always dehumanized, right? So I'm trying to humanize it, wherein we need to accept it for a fact that yes, there is a certain level of expense that is incurred by the company or by the corporate or your employer, so to speak, to train you, to provide you with an elevated level of knowledge, which will or may not have a profound impact on you. But the company has a vision that it should have a profound impact on you. There's a cost attributable. So one thing that is constantly at loggerheads when we deal with companies is the enforceability of bonds, the enforceability of notice periods. So since that particular spectrum is always dehumanized, we might have to slightly humanize it, and we might have to accept that yes, the company is also putting an effort in your professional growth and journey.
Bhargav, when you talk about an employee and an employer relation, there are a lot of nuances or market में because we work with a lot of companies. You also work with a lot of companies. बहुत सारे ना burning situations हैं. I am sure you must be facing the same. For example, a lot of companies ask us कि यार बंदा ढूंढ के दो, बट मैं 1 साल या 2 साल का बॉन्ड रखूंगा. तो क्या बॉन्ड इंडिया में लीगल है, वैलिड है, और एम्प्लॉयज़ को बॉन्ड साइन करना चाहिए?
See, this has always been a very gray area of law. But recently, in the previous year, in the year 2024, there has been a very categorical judgment by the Supreme Court of India,
Yes.
which has laid these ghosts to rest, right? Which says that was a judgment, if I'm not wrong, to the best of my recollections, it was a judgment involving a public sector bank, right? And I believe it was IDBI Bank, if I'm not wrong, please subject to correction. But that particular bank had prescribed a bond of 3 years, 36 months in the employment agreement, or by way of a separate service bond. There are different terminologies that people use for it. They either use a commitment period, they either use a service bond period, or so on, a service period, so on and so forth. So it is through that particular judgment that this judgment has emanated clarity about whether there can be a service bond जो कि legal माना जा सकता है कि नहीं. But still, it is always subject to interpretation. It is always subject to the various facts and circumstances that may exist in a particular set of, in a separate scenario, in a critical scenario, right? So if I would have to be opining on a very broad level, so my understanding here is that one thing that the company should be able to expect is the cost that it might have incurred in training that particular person and imparting a greater sets of skill sets. And in the course of that happening, there will be several things that the company might have incurred. It may be time, it may be money, it may be energy, it might be efforts, it might be blood, it might be sweat, so on and so forth. अब वो सब का एक मॉनेटरी इक्विवेलेंट रहता है, राइट? अब वो मॉनेटरी इक्विवेलेंट आपके एफर्ट का भी आप अपने रियल कॉस्ट में ऐड कर सकते हो कि नहीं कर सकते हो, दैट इज अ मैटर ऑफ आर्ग्यूमेंट, right? So we have to build a compelling argument and present it before the court. Because the reason that I've come before you with a grievance is because I had spent, say, oddly roughly 5 lakh rupees on this particular employee, and I was expecting that 5 lakh rupees at least to come back to me, right? At least that 5 lakhs to come back to me. I'm not asking for the moon. I'm merely asking for this particular amount of money that I might have spent. Jitna lagaya utna. So if I have to recover that 5 lakh rupees, I'm merely expecting him to work for a predefined duration. And if he does not work, because the law is very clear that it's not bonded labor. Bonded labor is illegal. You cannot restrict somebody from assuming another employment. आप उसको ये नहीं बोल सकते कि आप छोड़ के जा ही नहीं सकते. That is absolutely incorrect. And if there is a policy which states so, you should highlight it and say eviscerate it out of the agreement right away. But what you can ask for reasonably is that, okay, we have a service bond of 2 years or 1 year, right? If you leave midway, or if you say if you want to resign midway, pay me this amount of money on a prorated basis and you can leave, right? So if 5 lakh rupees is the amount of expense that I might have incurred and 36 months is the bond, you divide 5 lakh rupees by 36 और prorated basis पे आप लेके आप जा सकते हैं, not a problem.
परफेक्ट. सो ये जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट आया था तो मुझे काफ़ी जगह से ये स्क्रीनशॉट्स आए थे कि बॉन्ड इज लीगल नाउ, बॉन्ड इज लीगल नाउ, एंड कपल ऑफ माय क्लाइंट्स वांटेड टू इनिशिएट दिस, बट स्टिल जैसे आपने बोला कि ग्रे एरिया है, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ देयर इज अ मेडिकल कंडीशन यू कांट फोर्स एन एम्प्लॉयर और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो आई वांटेड अ लिटिल क्लैरिटी कि व्हेन वी से दैट बॉन्ड इज लीगल नाउ और सर्विस एग्रीमेंट इज लीगल नाउ, क्या वो मिनी टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस है which I can deploy on my employee and which I can't?
See, if you want to be enforcing a service bond, there is a certain amount of homework that goes on the part of the employer also.
Okay.
And there's a responsibility, corresponding responsibility on the employee as well. Okay. It's a two-way street, right? The employee will also have to understand that there's an opportunity that has been proffered to me, that has been advanced to me, and I'm assuming that particular opportunity and I will benefit out of it. If due to any reason which is absolutely bona fide and genuine, अगर कोई एक employee आता है और कहता है कि I have an ailing mother that I might have to be there for, or they have any other reason, that some medical reason, personal emergency reason, so on and so forth, the humanizing factor will always have to be there, right? By the end of it, we are all humans. We need to understand, we should be empathetic, we should be sympathetic and express that. The companies are also, all prudent employers are supposed to be exercising that level of exception in an event of all of these scenarios, right? So there are always exceptions depending upon what the factum scenario is. But no offense, and we are not wanting to have any opinions here, very strong opinions here, and this is not my opinion. But what I have seen in my limited experience is that people tend to lie.
Yeah.
That I feel is incorrect, because see, you do not expect the employer also to be taking you for a ride. Even the employer might expect the employee not to be taking them for a ride, right? Just because you might have set a precedent in the past, जहाँ पे आपने पहले किसी को एक एक्सेप्शन दे दिया था for a genuine scenario, कि उनकी मम्मी की तबीयत ठीक नहीं थी, या तो they might have to take care of someone or some medical emergency, and they had produced proofs for that, right? And the company made an exception and excused the person from adhering to the bond terms. The other person cannot use that as, cannot leverage that particular precedent and say कि मुझे भी चाहिए क्योंकि आपने उसको नहीं दिया था, आपने उसके लिए वेव कर दिया था. हमने उसके लिए वेव किया था क्योंकि उसके circumstances अलग थे. That is one. Secondly, people start to lie, and we've gotten to know that, or the employer might have gotten to know that later on, right? That makes the employer enraged, right? Because you're lying to someone, right? It is not acceptable. Two ways. Even the employer cannot lie. So there are certain scenarios that I've seen wherein the employees are supposed, just as I said before, that the employees are supposed to be asking questions to the employer, right? कि आप मुझे बताइए कि जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में क्या आएगा, आप मुझे किस डिपार्टमेंट में प्लेस कर रहे हैं, मेरा क्या डिटेल जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन होगा, व्हाट विल बी माई वर्किंग आवर्स, वेयर विल आई बी सीटेड. अगर वो सारी चीज़ें पूछोगे नहीं, एंड इट इज़ वेग इन द ऑफर लेटर और इन द एम्प्लॉयमेंट एग्रीमेंट, tomorrow you both will be at loggerheads in so far as interpreting this is concerned, because the employer might place you anywhere, you might not be happy. Employer might have had a service bond in place. Employee said that I subscribe to a service bond on the basis कि आपने बोला था कि मैं X काम करूँगा, आप मुझसे Y काम करवा रहे हो. So now you're just in a quandary, you're in a precarious scenario जहाँ पे आप navigate करना मुश्किल हो रहा है आपको, ठीक है? So have clarity. That is the primary requirement of agreements and contracts. Is that please ensure that the contracts radiate clarity.
Right.
So
right.
talking of agreements and contracts, Bhargav bhai, is an offer letter a signed offer letter agreement? I present an offer letter to a client or candidate, an employee who's prospective employee. He has signed it. Is that would be that considered an agreement?
Literally speaking, no, but yes, there is another element to it. Right.
So
If
why?
there is a-
I'm sorry. Why I am asking you this question is a lot of times people accept the offer letter, but they don't turn up on the day of the joining, and this is a very burning question in the industry.
we have come across these questions in the past, and I have a view on it. I don't know how right this might be or right this might sound, but this is my unsolicited view on it. My view is that an offer letter, when it is extended, there is an offer that is encapsulated within that offer letter. Right? That offer has been accepted. Two. Third, there have to be certain terms and conditions in the offer letter which do not have to deviate when you sign the appointment letter. Right? So there are certain terms that we have told you at the very outset कि कल आप जब 1 तारीख को जनवरी को आप ज्वाइन करोगे उस समय पे आपकी ये ब्रॉड टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस होंगे. यू सब्सक्राइब टू दिस टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, रीड, डेलिबरेट, मल ओवर इट, थिंक, सोच विचार करके आप इस पे दस्तखत करिए. ठीक है ना? गिव देम, डू नॉट मेक देम साइन ऑन द स्पॉट बिकॉज नोबडी माइट बी एबल टू डू इट. गिव देम अ डे, let them come back. If they have signed it and they have made a promise to you and an assurance to you that I'll be joining the company on the 1st of January 2026, hypothetically, and if they do not turn up on that particular date, there is again a cost benefit analysis that we might have to work here. My view is that just as you are also running an agency, you're also running a company, you are appointed by corporates, right? For what purpose? For recruitments? There is a fee that you also charge for your efforts. That fee that is being paid to Mantra to Success is from the hard-earned money of your clients. Right? There is a cost there. One. Secondly, you might identify the first layer of candidates. You might filter out the process for them. There is 150 crore people in India. Out of that, there may be 10 crore people who might be viable applicants. Then you filter and distill the process. And then you say that out of this entire large pool of candidates, I've come out to 50 candidates that I'm submitting it to you. Then there is an interview process that the company might have to conduct for those 50 candidates, which involves time, which involves efforts, that involves money. Right? You have a mega walk-in drive, right? You call in 100 people, you dedicate your HR team to leave their work and even your technical team for that matter to understand the technical knowledge of the candidate. All of this is done. There's a cost that is associated with all of these things. I'm again not saying this in a very condescending way, right? I'm not wanting to belittle the fact that you cannot look for other opportunities. But then if you feel that this might not be the right opportunity and you want to look for more, please do not window shop using this offer letter. Right? Please do not do that. Because there is a cost that is also associated in arranging all of these.
Right.
And the company should have a right. I don't know whether it's currently there or not. It's a very gray area. Again, right? The situation is grey when it comes to this. But whether a company can recover that particular cost that it might have incurred from a candidate, right, for him or her having not turned up on the date of appointment that might have been specified in the offer letter, is something which is a matter of argument and adjudication.
So कुछ हो भी सकता है, कुछ नहीं भी हो सकता
Yeah,
है.
मैं यही
Correct.
बोलने वाली थी. हाँ.
It's a grey area.
But it's very aspirational कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल पहले बहुत टाइम पहले तक बॉन्ड के ऊपर भी कोई जजमेंट नहीं था सुप्रीम कोर्ट का. Can we see any kind of such judgments coming, or do you have any practical cases which are going on where an employer has actually gone to Kate कि नहीं, where an employer has actually gone to court और बोला कि नहीं मेरा टाइम वेस्ट हुआ है, क्यों नहीं ज्वाइन हुआ बंदा?
Yes, we have.
We have?
We have.
Okay.
Right. So it all depends upon how the court perceives it. Right. Whether we are able to fight in an indomitable manner before the court to make our argument compelling enough for the court to interpret and understand it. And just as you had mentioned in the very beginning or off the cuff, Swati ji, that employers are demonized at times, right? ऐसे cases हुए हैं, ठीक है? There have been cases in the past. There are cases that are currently pending. We have had the privilege of instituting such cases also, and that is yet subject to adjudication. अभी उसका एक निवारण निकलना बाकी है, ठीक है? बट फाइनली वो सब डिपेंड करता है हाउ द जुडिशियल ऑफिसर interprets that particular provision or interprets the contract and understands our perception.
मेरे ख्याल से जो कॉस्ट है, जैसे आपने बोला कि रिक्रूटमेंट, इंटरव्यूज, फिल्ट्रेशन, टाइम, टेक्निकल टीम का टाइम, ये इंटेंजिबल कॉस्ट है टिल द टाइम द पर्सन इज ऑन बोर्ड. तो आई थिंक वो आपको भी प्रूव करना पड़ेगा कि कितनी इंटेंजिबल कॉस्ट है.
Right.
Because I see often times we've come across cases where somebody was to join at the CXO level and he was engaged with the company after selection. 1 महीना 1.5 महीना उनके साथ टच में रहा, बात किया, gave his opinions also कि इस प्रॉब्लम को ऐसे सॉल्व करो. Yet on the day prior to the day of joining, he would message to the authorities, I have got a better offer, I am not joining tomorrow.
Correct. So इसमें see there's my opinion here, sir, is that there should be a clause in the offer letter which says कि आप कब ये ऑफर को खींच सकते हो. ठीक है, I'll give you a reasonable amount of time. I'm not saying that you are not allowed to look for better pastures. Everybody has a right to look for better pastures. ठीक है, I'm not denying that. पर आप कंपनी को उतना एक ब्रीदिंग टाइम दो ताकि they can look for another person once you reject the offer, right? Just as you had mentioned, Jitendra bhai, that if a CXO level employee informs a day or two prior, even 7 days prior कि I am not going to be joining, तो सडनली एक हैवॉक वाला सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो जाता है कंपनी में, क्योंकि कंपनी ने कुछ प्लान सोच के रखे होंगे कि जब ये जेंटलमैन और लेडी विल ज्वाइन द कंपनी, उस समय पे मैं इसको ये टास्क के लिए इंटरेस्ट करूँगा. ठीक है ना, आपने अपना एक प्लानिंग बिठा के रखा होगा कि ये सारे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ मैं अभी खुद नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं सारे वो इनको दूंगा, एक्स पर्सन को दूंगा जब भी वो ज्वाइन कर देंगे. ठीक है ना, और क्लाइंट फेसिंग ये हो जाएगा, क्लाइंट का रिक्वायरमेंट ये होगा, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. तो आप सडनली अगर 6 दिन पहले मेरे को बताओगे या 4 दिन पहले मेरे को बताओगे कि आप नहीं आना चाहते हो, चलो यू आर नॉट कमिंग, दैट्स अ सेपरेट कंसर्न, आई माइट बी ओके विद दैट, बट आपको रिप्लेस करने के लिए मुझे आई हैव टू फाइंड अनदर वर्दी कैंडिडेट इन द नेक्स्ट 4 days. कहाँ से ढूंढूँ मैं? अब उसको करने के लिए आई माइट हैव टू लुक फॉर अनदर कैंडिडेट जो कि एक कंपीटिंग एंटिटी में है, उनको एक ऑफर दे के उसका नोटिस पीरियड मुझे खरीदना पड़ेगा. Additional cost. Right? If I have to fill that position, he is also subservient to a contract. Right? He is bound by certain contractual obligations. So to ensure that that particular person fulfills his or her contractual obligations with that third entity, मेरे को इसको facilitate करना पड़ेगा कि ठीक है, आपका 2 महीने का notice period मैं खरीदता हूँ, you come down. There'll always be a clause, either the notice period or salary in lieu of notice. Right? And अगर CXO level position पे ढूंढ रहे हैं, CXO लेवल पोजीशंस के नोटिस पीरियड ज़्यादा होते हैं. कोई नॉर्मल जूनियर लेवल, मिड सीनियर लेवल के नोटिस पीरियड्स कम होते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द लेवल ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज दैट आर कास्ट ऑन देम. ठीक है ना, उनके शोल्डर्स पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, तो हैंड ओवर में टाइम लगता है. सडनली वो कंपनी भी नहीं छोड़ेगी ना कि भाई कल से मुझे भी तो ढूंढना है किसी को. सो दे ऑल्सो नीड 6 months. अब आपको 6 महीने का नोटिस पीरियड आपको खरीदना पड़ेगा इन 4 days. हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल? एंड इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू डू दैट, what will be the face? आप अपने क्लाइंट के सामने नाक आपका कट जाएगा, वैसा है. राइट? You'll not be able to maintain face with the client.
A lot of problems are there, yes.
Lot of problems. So we need to appreciate that कि हाँ, these are certain challenges and impediments that all companies face.
But the courts are looking at it. There are certain
The courts may look at it, they are not averse to the position, right? But yes, we are yet to see a conclusive judgment, right, of the Supreme Court of India that clearly lays a position here, right, or is projecting a position कि हाँ, this is what is right, this is what is wrong. We are yet to see that. We are always a country जो अपने workers, अपने श्रम को बहुत protect करते हैं, which is very good, right? It is equally imperative. Right? It is equally imperative. Looking at the demographic of our country, वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. But we might have to eventually, when we are moving towards development, we are moving towards a developed nation, these problems are inadvertently आते ही रहेंगे. ठीक है, और इसको टैकल करने के लिए एक रास्ता चाहिए होगा. And the only forum to provide us with a path is the courts.
So जैसे you gave a very good suggestion कि you put a clause in the agreement कि इस तारीख तक आप बैक आउट कर सकते हो या रिजेक्ट कर दो. उसके बाद अगर आपने किया तो that will be termed as illegal. There will be cost on that.
There will be a cost on that, and that cost should be reasonable, right? I do not want the employers or all of these corporates to laden the shoulders of that particular employee with a huge cost, right? They are not a junior level associate might not be able to pay that particular cost, or it might not be wise to pay that particular cost, right? वो cost benefit analysis वो खुद भी तो करेगा कि मैं भर ही नहीं पाऊंगा, आप 4 लाख रुपए मांगोगे तो, आप रीजनेबली क्या मांग रहे हो, ठीक है ना. A cost that the company can defend before a court of law should be the cost that you insert in the offer letter, which is a fair and a justifiable, equitable cost.
And that too
Right.
only after a certain period of time if you are not joining.
If you are not joining, this is not something that people, I'm not saying that this should be practiced, but it may be one of the options that can be adopted and employed by companies, maybe.
भार्गव, जैसे हर कॉइन के दो साइड होते हैं, वैसे अभी हमने एक्सप्लोर किया कि एम्प्लॉयज नॉट जॉइनिंग, वेयरएज मैंने बीइंग इनटू एचआर मैंने ये भी देखा है कि एम्प्लॉयर्स गिव एन ऑफर, देन दे बैक आउट एंड दे डिड नॉट गिव जॉइनिंग. कुछ सिनेरियोज में ऐसा होता है कैंपस के प्लेसमेंट के केस में कि ऑफर आ गया बट जॉइनिंग ही नहीं आती है. एंड इन सर्टन केसेस तो जो एक्सपीरियंस कैंडिडेट होता है वो रिजाइन करके वेट कर रहा होता है, बट there's a very simple email that due to certain circumstances, sorry, we have to cancel the offer.
Changing business requirements.
Yes.
Yes.
What can an employee do at that point of time?
We'll come back to the stage when the offer is being negotiated. ठीक है. तब जब मैंने ऐसे पहले कहा था कि एम्प्लॉय का भी एक ड्यूटी होता है. यू माइट बी गुड एट द जॉब दैट यू आर सीकिंग फॉर, बट उसके साथ में आप पूछो कि आप बेंच पे रहने वाले हो कि नहीं रहने वाले हो. इज देयर अ पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ दिस इवेंट हैपनिंग और नॉट हैपनिंग? If there's a possibility of that event happening, then you know that you have been indicated that at the time the offer was advanced to you, and ask the employer to put that in writing. आप बोलो कि आप मुझे 1 तारीख को ज्वाइनिंग पे बुलाओगे and this offer will not be rescinded. Ask for it. If they cannot give it to you in writing, then there's something fishy. There might be an excitement in the employee also that you might get a 50% increment or a 150% increment. It has happened after COVID, post-COVID, during COVID. Things have happened. But that should not result in you accepting that offer and creating a situation of tumult tomorrow. आप कल जाके कोई दुविधा में पड़ जाओ, अपने एग्जिस्टिंग कंपनी को एक रिजिग्नेशन दे दो, आपने एक जॉब छोड़ दिया है, you might not be able to assume that job again, and suddenly one fine day you're on the street saying that I do not have a job here, I do not have a job there, या कुआं वहाँ खाई हो गया, ठीक है ना, या आप कहीं के नहीं रह जाओगे, right? So you have to take care of all of those factors as well while you take a call, right? You need to understand what is your right, you need to understand अगर ये कल नहीं होगा तो मैं क्या करूँगा. There should be all of those tertiary level factors also that you should be thinking about. Do not merely look for money, do not merely look for escalations in your salary. See if you have a confirmed opportunity, just as you rightly mentioned. ऐसे लोग कर रहे हैं. If I look at it from the client's lens or the company's lens, company भी excitement में एक offer accept कर दिया होगा from a client. The client must have posted a requirement, मेरे को 200 लोग चाहिए 1 तारीख तक. आपका client और आपके बीच में या तो अनबन हो गई होगी, ठीक है ना, कंपनी और उसके क्लाइंट के बीच में, या तो उसके कंपनी के क्लाइंट ने बोला होगा अपने को धंधा नहीं करना, समथिंग, सम इशू, सेम बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट, सेम थिंग, राइट. It is in that scenario that this company now who has employed you, who proposed to offer you an employment and confirmed your employment, is now in a soup, is in a fix कि अब करे क्या, तो वो बोलते हैं बेंच पे रखते हैं. I've seen this happening in tech companies a lot, that for 6 months you're on the bench, right? And to be very honest, is my unsolicited opinion, I've seen employees who are also happy with it. In that case, I'm getting certain amount of money, which may not be the entire money, but you're not learning for nothing, you're not anything for the next 6 months. The growth is stalled, right? You're halted there. Your professional journey is halted there, you're on the bench. So please ask those tough questions, address the elephant in the room, make those eerie conversations, वो सारे थोड़े tough calls, tough जो questions है वो सारे आपको address करने पड़ेंगे. You might not be able to deflect those ज़्यादा समय तक, नहीं तो आप ही भुगतोगे, right? Address करो, पूछो, be vocal about it. Just as you might have seen even in, say, one thing that the law on sexual harassment says very clearly is that say no, be vocal, right? If you are expecting a woman in a scenario of sexual harassment to be being vocal, you're not in that scenario. You're in a much better scenario negotiating a contract for offer with another employer. Say no, say yes, ask those questions.
अब फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन इसके ऊपर ये होगा कि मैं तो खुद भुगत भोगी हूँ. इन 2008 आई लॉस्ट माय कैंपस प्लेसमेंट ऑफर, दे डिड नॉट गिव मी जॉइनिंग, बट आई नो मेरे साथ जो पूरे बैच में जितने लोग हायर हुए थे किसी को ऑफर नहीं आया. दे कॉल्ड अप एवरीवन एंड सेड सॉरी. कैन द कंपनी मेक एक्सक्यूज ऑन दिस प्रिटेक्स्ट कि आपको नहीं, मैं सबके साथ ऐसा कर रहा हूँ, मैं किसी को ज्वाइनिंग नहीं दे रहा हूँ? इज दैट अ लीगल वे और इज दैट अ फोर्स मजोर सेइंग कि यार मार्केट क्रैश हो गया, हमारा फोर्स मजोर हो गया, अब हम नहीं कर सकते?
Market crash होना is not a force majeure event. COVID-19 is a force majeure event. during COVID-19, there were multiple judgments that came out by different courts because there was a lot of litigation happening. बहुत सारा friction होने लग गया था हर एक कंपनी में क्योंकि कोई भी contracts को नहीं पालन कर पा रहे थे उसका. Right, so people started dragging people to courts. Everybody started knocking the doors कि आप मेरे को grievance redressal करो, ये करो, वो करो. अब उसमें कुछ judgments में, to the best of my recollection, कोर्ट ने ये बोला कि अगर there's a tariff-like situation, just as we are encountering today, there's a tariff-like threat. एक नंगी तलवार हमेशा लटकती रहती है कि टैरिफ आ जाएगा, थ्रेट आ जाएगा, ये कर लेंगे. So while all of that is happening, a tariff threat, a market crash, or certain other tertiary and peripheral factors that might impact your business from a commercial perspective, वो सारे आपको फोर्स ही करना पड़ेगा एज अ बिजनेस पर्सन. वो फोर्स मेजर इवेंट नहीं है. एक अर्थक्वेक फोर्स मेजर इवेंट है. An act of God is a force majeure event. COVID-19 is a force majeure event. It is only after COVID-19 कि force majeure के clause में एक agreement में epidemic और pandemic को हम लोग डालने लगे. उसके पहले तो था भी नहीं, उसका जिक्र इतना होता नहीं था जहाँ तक I have seen contracts. So ये सारे जो चीज़ है ना, आपका ग्रेट डिप्रेशन हो गया, 2008 का क्राइसिस आ गया, लीमन ब्रदर्स का क्राइसिस आ गया, इसकी वजह से आपको नौकरी नहीं दे पा रहे, that is not an argument that may be sustainable before the court.
Okay.
We were too naive back then in 2008 when this happened. But इस force majeure पे ना, I'd like to share an anecdote with the audience. So एक अच्छे लॉयर की कहाँ ज़रूरत होती है मैं आपको बताता हूँ. In 2020, I think 19 or 20, Wimbledon did not happen, the tournament, tennis. उससे एक साल पहले Wimbledon was renegotiating the contract with the insurers and Wimbledon के lawyers ने ये डलवाया clause कि कोई pandemic आता है, then also the insurers are liable to pay. And the insurance said, yes, ठीक है, कोई pandemic आता नहीं है. And suddenly next year the pandemic happened and I think the Wimbledon as a body, the fraternity, tennis fraternity, they got some 400 million as a claim because the tournament could not take place. Somewhere I've read this, I'm not sure of exact amount, maybe the exact amount is different, but एक अच्छे लॉयर की कहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ती है वो यहाँ पे प्रूव होता है हमको.
Right.
And interestingly, we are dealing with a candidate right now. She's a CXO level candidate. She's hired somebody to do negotiations on her part with prospective employers for compensation and for equity as well.
Absolutely.
So
That's a perfect step to take.
that's a perfect step to take. Yes.
So अभी तक we spoke about hiring employees, employers. 2025 का एक buzzword है termination. So I want to understand from you. So what is because every day I wake up being into HR industry, सबसे पहले मेरे को होता है कि आज 10,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए, आज 5,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए, आज 2,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए. एंड जैसे हमने बॉन्ड की बात की, सो मेरे को ये काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट अपने कैंडिडेट से आता है कि इफ आई साइन अ बॉन्ड आई कैन नॉट लीव, बट आर दे ऑल्सो
Guaranteeing me
bounding
this.
कि they will also not terminate me in the
हाँ.
bond. So I want to hear it from you कि what is a rightful termination and क्या follow करना चाहिए in case a employer has to terminate his employees.
See, if an employer, आपने जैसे बताया कि 10,000 टर्मिनेट हो गए, the term used, the buzzword is layoff. You might have heard.
Right.
So everybody is being laid off, but nobody might question the laying off process because the laying off process or the termination or severance of that particular employee or set of employees is happening in accordance with the contract, right? If I am laying off a bunch of 200 people, the one least that I can do as an employer is that अगर मेरे को ले ऑफ करके उसको 2 महीने का नोटिस पीरियड भी नहीं सर्व करवाना है तो मैं 2 महीने का पूरा उसका सैलरी जितना बनता है द एंटायर CTC applicable for 2 months, I'll waive off his notice period, I'll pay him the entire amount of money and I'll say I'm so sorry.
अच्छा, मैं ब्रेक डाउन करना चाहूँगी कि अगर मैं एज एन एम्प्लॉयर ले ऑफ कर रही हूँ, व्हेन एम आई eligible or when should I pay that grievance amount? The day the person is getting laid
Yes.
off? Okay.
At the time of full and final
That is
settlement.
what the law says.
That is what the law states.
Okay.
There's a new thing in the labor code as well, which talks about full and final settlement.
Yes.
Right? I may not be completely sure about it.
Okay.
Right? But nonetheless, there is a very clear thing that says that your salary also is to be credited by the 7th of the month for IT and ITES establishments. This is applicable only to IT and ITES. It may be extended to other people. I may be wrong. It's currently, I've also not completely read into it. But this is one observation. And the second is regarding FNF also, that the FNF will have to happen by so and so period. Right? So I might have to check as to what that period is. But still, there is some assertion or averment regarding that.
But I would like to add 2 nuances here. I would like to know your answer. मुझे किसी को टर्मिनेट करना है,
ले ऑफ करना
है, या तो ऑन टू कंडीशंस, आइदर दैट डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन कि ही इज डन समथिंग व्हिच इज अगेंस्ट इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द कंपनी, another is very poor performance, like
Yeah.
you have given him PIP, you have given him ample amount of chances, still कोई improvement नहीं आ रहा है. In that case I am still liable to pay, or how is it?
See, the termination can happen for two reasons. One, we define in contractual terms. It can happen for cause, it can happen without cause, right? And we define those causal events in the agreement. हम very well we delineate it and mention it in the agreement कि भाई ये causal events है, अगर इन वजहों से आपको हम लोग terminate कर रहे हैं, then you can be terminated immediately without any notice period, no money, right? Those causal events are very grave concerns: fraud, gross negligence, willful misconduct, behavioral concerns, right? So वैसा सब अगर concerns होते हैं जहाँ पे supposedly if a person is creating a ruckus in the company by breaking furniture, he's gotten into rage, but you're supposed to, as a human, you're supposed to control yourself, right? And that is applicable equally for the employer and for the employee.
Correct.
Even the employer can drag the employer to court if the employer behaves in an atrocious manner. आपने देखे होंगे वीडियोस बाहर कि कोई संडे को कोई एक बॉस चिल्ला रहे हैं कि आप कैसे, क्यों आपको छुट्टी लेना है संडे को, आप काम करो.
The banks are notorious
The
for this.
Establishments Act, Shops and Establishments Act कहता है कि एक हफ्ते में एक दिन की छुट्टी मिलनी है, मतलब मिलनी है, right? अगर आपको if you feel that you are aggrieved, take it to court. You have a right, right? That is one. Secondly, termination not for cause or without cause is a mutual termination clause. उस clause के अंदर आपके PIP और performance issues भी आ जाते हैं. If a person is not performing, that does not amount to gross negligence. Gross negligence might be something really grave, right? He's not performing, right? ठीक है, we have given him opportunities or her opportunities, even after having provided those opportunities नहीं बन पा रहा है उनसे, तो ठीक है, हमें निकालना पड़ेगा. एक महीने का नोटिस दो और निकालो. Simple. Terminate.
In cases where the employer is facing financial loss, मतलब employee ने गलती कर दी, let's say stock broking firm है, उसने कुछ गलत ट्रेड कर दिया, मेरे को millions dollar, and then I need to terminate him. In those cases also I need to pay the employee.
See, firstly, you are vicariously liable. The employer is vicariously liable for the actions undertaken by the employee in front of the client.
Can you
Just to dumb this down further, अगर आप कोई आपको एज अ लीडर, एज अ कंपनी, आपको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना है कि आपकी कंपनी में क्या हो रहा है एज अ लीडर, राइट? सो यू आर द फेस ऑफ द कंपनी, द एम्प्लॉई इज परफॉर्मिंग सर्विसेज फॉर द कंपनी. अंत में अगर कंपनी के ऊपर लाइबिलिटी आती है ड्यू टू द एक्शंस ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर एम्प्लॉई, देन यू कैन इन्वोक द इंडेमनिटी क्लॉज इन द एम्प्लॉयमेंट एग्रीमेंट, राइट? जहाँ पे आप उनसे इंडेमनिफिकेशन मांगोगे. कि इंडेमनिफिकेशन क्या है? सीकिंग रेपरेशंस. कि अगर अगर मैं आज की तारीख में जीरो पे हूँ, आपके काम करने गलत करने से, या तो इन एक्शंस की वजह से या तो ओमिशंस की वजह से मैं -10 पे आ गया हूँ, मैं आपसे प्रॉफिट नहीं कमाना चाहता हूँ, आप मुझे -10 से 0 पे लेके आइए, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट इंडेमनिटी इन द मोस्ट ले सेंस इज, राइट? आई एम नॉट आस्किंग फॉर लॉस ऑफ बिजनेस. अगर आपने काम सही कर दिया होता तो मुझे 2 और क्लाइंट मिल जाते जिससे मैं 2 लाख रुपये और बना लेता. वो नहीं मांग रहा मैं बोला जो मेरा नुकसान हुआ वो भर दो, बस इसको नील बट्टा वो कर दीजिएगा, वो कर दो, ठीक है? दैट इज द एंटायर लॉजिक बिहाइंड इट. यू माइट हैव टू पे टू द क्लाइंट. अगर कल जाके क्लाइंट नाखुश होकर आपके ऊपर एक 10 करोड़ रुपए का सूट बोल देता है, यू माइट हैव टू पे, द कंपनी विल हैव टू पे. फिर आप वो रिकवर करिए.
Bhargav, we spoke about layoffs. Ki an employer, what he's supposed to do? How is a rightful laid off? When an employee is getting laid off, what all are the things that you would recommend the person should take care of? कि अगर ले ऑफ हो रहा है तो इंस्टेड ऑफ रोने धोने के बजाय मुझे अब उस टाइम पे क्या करना है?
Okay. From a legal perspective, I might be able to answer from a legal lens itself. From a legal perspective, that particular person should first ensure that his rights are secured as per the agreement. So the first document that he might have to pluck out from the system is uska employment agreement, right?
Okay.
Or appointment letter, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Pluck out the employment agreement. देखिए कि in the termination clause what are the consequences of termination. कि एक बार मैं terminate हो जाए, and that's a well drafted employment agreement I'm assuming, right? जहाँ पे consequences of termination mentioned होंगे कि अगर termination होगा तो मुझे क्या क्या benefits मिलेंगे, मेरे पे क्या क्या duties है, what is it that I can rightfully ask for or demand from the company. One. Second, आप थोड़ा रिसर्च करिए on through artificial intelligence, through Google, use other mediums, and see what is it that you can claim in addition to what is already stated in the contract if you might have not gotten it. Supposedly आप कोई एक एम्प्लॉय हो जिसने 5 साल काम कर दिया, as per the existing prevailing the erstwhile regime, a person was entitled to gratuity after the person has worked for 5 years in a particular entity. See whether you are entitled to gratuity or not. If you are entitled to gratuity, calculate the amount of gratuity in your head, ask for that amount of money if they would have missed by oversight or deliberately. Right? If things are not going well in the company side, तो वो लोग भी शायद they might conceal it or they might shirk off. कि भाई let's wriggle out from this responsibility if the person is not demanding. But demand. Right? You have a right. And 5 years is a very significant tenure of you devoting your life in a particular company. Right? So आप मांगिए वो सब चीज़ें, आप देखिए आपके क्या क्या और rights है. Start seeking for all of those rights. Address a correspondence in a clear, crisp manner, saying that, okay, I understand that I have been laid off. If I have not been laid off in a proper manner, seek adherence to the agreement. Ki I believe that this particular clause of this agreement says that I could not have been laid off in this manner unless and until XYZ events fulfill नहीं होते. तो आप या तो अगर आपने XYZ इवेंट्स फुलफिल नहीं किए हैं एंड यू हैव सॉट फॉर अ वेवर, तो उसका एक कॉन्सिक्वेंस हो, आप वो मुझे भरपाई करिए. द रीज़न आई नो इट्स अ मेंटल टर्मोइल. एक सिचुएशन होता है कि सडनली आप घबरा जाते हो कि कहाँ जाऊँ, यू माइट हैव अ फैमिली, यू माइट हैव किड्स, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. आई अंडरस्टैंड, स्वाभाविक सी बात है. बट amidst all of that, if you are able to maintain your calmness for 10 minutes and gather all of this information, it might help you sustain for the next 2-3 months.
But Bhargav bhai, we are seeing increasingly inhuman experiences जहाँ आपको suddenly email ID बंद हो गया, you cannot log into your system, the HR walks in with security guards, ID card दो अभी का अभी निकलो. So in such cases मैं घर आ गया, lay off हो गया, घर आ गया, मैं कब तक क्लेम कर सकता हूँ? Is there any duration कि मैं 1 दिन, 2 दिन, 4 महीना, 6 महीना तक मैं ये I can sue the company or take an action? But हो सकता है कि मेरे को अभी ले ऑफ हुए 5 साल हो गया, मान लो फॉर एग्जांपल. सो व्हाट इज देयर एनी टाइम ड्यूरेशन टिल व्हिच आई कैन टेक अ मेजर लीगली?
तो जब आपको कोई ले ऑफ ऐसे कर देता है, टर्मिनेट कर देता है इन द वे दैट यू मेंशन इमीडिएटली, उस समय पे आपके पास उतना बैंडविथ नहीं होगा, मेंटल स्पेस नहीं होगा कि आप डिवोट कर पाए कि मैं ये सब रिकवरी करूँ, ये सारे करस्पॉन्डेंसेज लिखूँ. पर आज के तारीख में इन टुडेज टाइम एंड एज, वन वेरी गुड प्रोडक्ट दैट हैज कम आउट ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज दैट योर थॉट्स कैन बी जस्ट पेन डाउन on an artificial intelligence platform and they will manufacture an entire letter for you by default. So आपका जो इतना efforts पहले जो 2 घंटे लगते थे शायद अभी 2-3 मिनट में हो जाएंगे. Use that to your benefit. See, it is extremely important for an employee or for any party who's aggrieved to have a base, to have a foundation, right? Just as if I have to go before the court, I have to present something before the court. What I present is the things that might have occurred in the past. If you might have addressed certain correspondences, आपने letter लिखे होंगे, आपने email address किए होंगे, आप करते रहिए, right? So that you keep showing that I'm continually being hurt by this particular this company's actions. इसके निकालने की वजह से in an inhuman manner, in a non-contractual manner, in an illegal manner, मुझे ये आपदा सहनी पड़ रही है. I am subjected to all of this. I am engulfed in turmoil. So keep highlighting all of that. In say not regularly in cadence but sporadically, मतलब आप मेंटेन करते रहिए कि हर 3 दिन, 5 दिन, 7 दिन, 10 दिन एक मेल डाल दो, एक रिमाइंडर डाल दो, कुछ डाल दो. You can take an action after a year, you can take an action after 2 years, you can take an action up till 3 years from the date of the cause of action having arisen. Cause of action is the termination event. Termination event से 3 साल तक आप ले सकते
If you are laid off on 1st January 2026,
Yeah.
you can take action till 31st December 2029.
Yes.
Okay.
But all of these correspondences help build the foundation and plinth for your case. So आपका केस थोड़ा और अच्छे से आप प्रस्तुत कर पाओगे, मजबूत बना पाओगे.
So Bhargav, we have talked about layoffs, employee rights, employer rights, and up day in day out you see all these things. I wanted to understand what does an umbrella of corporate law caters to, और आप दिन ब दिन क्या कौन से ज़्यादा cases solve करते हो?
सर हम लोग प्राइमरीली इन टुडेज टाइम एंड एज, अभी पता होगा कलयुग में है, ठीक है ना. सो एंड द ग्लोबल सिनेरियो आल्सो इज नॉट दैट फेवरेबल टुडे. सबके अंदर एक खौफ है, एक डर है फॉर सम रीजन, ठीक है. सो एवरीबडी इज प्लेइंग कॉशियसली, राइट. इन दैट प्रोसेस आप जितना ट्रस्ट कर पाते थे किसी पे उतना नहीं कर पा रहे हो. दिस इज ऑल द मोर से नेसेसरी एंड दिस हैज गिवन राइज टू अग्रीमेंट्स बीइंग ऑफ वाइटल इंपॉर्टेंस टुडे, ठीक है ना. ये सब चीज़ें अग्रीमेंट उसकी में सब कैप्चर हो रहे हैं. बट द रीजन दैट agreements are becoming more popular and salient today is because people have been bitten in the past. सबको किसी ने सब भुगत कोरिया जैसा बोले ना, ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिन्होंने सिर्फ वर्बली कोई बात कर ली होगी और बोला कि ठीक है, या तो एक 1 पेजर का अग्रीमेंट दे दिया होगा कि हाँ ठीक है, फिर आप अटक गए हो. ठीक है, आपके पेमेंट आने बंद हो गए हैं. आपने किसी के लिए सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया होगा, उसने आपको कुछ पेमेंट किया नहीं, आपका 50 रिसोर्स का पूरा पैसा लगाया होगा, 1 साल का पूरा मेहनत लगी होगी, एंड सडनली यू आर अनपेड फॉर दैट एंटायर एफर्ट्स दैट यू माइट हैव इन्फ्यूज्ड. Then there are problems that primarily problems are with respect to you not being paid. That is one major issue that I'm
I
seeing.
know an entrepreneur and he told me कि last 8 साल में he has at least got some 50 to 75 lakh of bad debts. Payments never came.
होते हैं. Now there are 2 things that you can do. One is that accept it. ठीक है?
Then move on.
Accept it and move on. Second is try to make certain changes internally. Try to internalize, right? Introspect. And then reflect कि भाई मैंने what is it that I don't have in my system that is enabling all of these people to be rubbing off their misdemeanor on me. ऐसा क्या मैं गलत कर रहा हूँ या तो नहीं है मेरे पास, लोग फायदा उठा रहे. Just as I had mentioned about indemnity clauses, limitation of liability clauses, all of these clauses. अभी आप अगर सर्विस बिजनेस में हो या तो आप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बिजनेस में हो, अब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बिजनेस ऑलवेज सिंस टाइम इमेमोरियल हैज़ अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अ कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट. आपने देखा होगा. ठीक है, आपका काम हुआ है, आप कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट दो. वंस द कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट हैज बीन इशूड, यू कैन नॉट रेज अ डिस्प्यूट ओवर द वर्क दैट हैज बीन कंप्लीटेड एंड स्टेटेड बाय यू दैट इट इज कंप्लीटेड प्रॉपर्ली एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द टर्म्स दैट आई हैव स्टिपुलेटेड. बाकी लोग क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो? वही करो. इफ यू आर इन अ सर्विस बिजनेस, यू आर इन द टेक बिजनेस, यू आर इन द एनी अदर बिजनेस, आस्क दैट इफ आई एम सबमिटिंग अ डिलीवरेबल टू यू, यू हैव 10 days टू डेलिब्रेट एंड मल ओवर दैट एंटायर डिलीवरेबल कि भाई मैंने सही से किया है कि नहीं किया है. 10 दिन में आपको कोई भी खोट दिखते है इसमें, आप हाईलाइट करिए ना, मैं सही करूँगा उसको. ठीक है ना, आप कोई भी डिफेक्ट आता है, कोई भी उसमें आप ना खुश हो किसी चीज़ से, आप बोलिए. पर 10 दिन बाद अगर आपने नहीं, 10 दिन तक अगर आपने नहीं बोला और आप 1 साल बाद आ रहे हो, दैट इज इनकरेक्ट, राइट. आफ्टर 10 days इट्स कंस्टिट्यूट एज अ डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस. अगर आपने नहीं भी बोला हो तो भी डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस है, राइट. जैसे हम, यू माइट हैव सीन इन क्रिश्चियन वेडिंग्स दैट वहाँ बोलते हैं ना कि anybody has an objection, you raise it right now. Otherwise, hold your mouth till you die. So, after 10 days, if you are raising an objection, not possible. If you have that clause, it becomes simple for the court to also interpret that document. आप कोर्ट के सामने एक एकदम ही लूजली एंड फ्लिम्सली ड्राफ्टेड अग्रीमेंट लेके जाओगे तो कोर्ट भी बोलेगा ठीक है, अब जो है यही है. इवन यू इंटरप्रिट, आई विल ऑल्सो इंटरप्रिट. इफ इट वुड हैव बीन क्लियर कि अगर ये होगा तो वाई होगा, ए होगा तो बी होगा, बी होगा तो सी होगा. कोर्ट के लिए भी आसानी है कि ए हुआ है, हाँ हुआ है, बी हुआ है, नहीं हुआ है, तो ठीक है, क्यों नहीं हुआ है, आप पूरा करिए. इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट. सो पीपल इन इंडिया स्पेशली, एंड नाउ दे आर चेंजिंग, राइट. There's a change that is happening as you're moving towards professionalism, as moving towards being a more capitalistic approach we are having, right, as opposed to a socialistic approach. So people have always been averse to agreements. एक डर रहता है कि अग्रीमेंट मतलब ये मेरे को कुछ, ये लोग पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं.
I know some people get into ego कि मेरी जबान की कीमत नहीं है.
नहीं, and so we are into recruitments. हमारा तो I am very clear कि आपको मेरे से काम करना है, हमारे साथ काम करना है, agreement sign करना पड़ेगा. There are clients who come back कि इतना लंबा कौन पड़ेगा, एक पेज का बना के दे दो, बाकी रिक्रूटमेंट कंपनीज दे रही हैं.
होता है.
मैंने कहा सर आप उसमें मैं कैसे डालूं ये सब एक पेज में.
And these are the same issues that we have also faced in the past, wherein our clients have told us, or the opposing counsels have told us, that it is too lengthy a draft. And we have been told at times, our clients have been told at times, that the reason that you might be sharing this particular agreement in such a lengthy manner, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है कि आप में खोट है, कि you are wanting to fool us, or you are wanting to say barricade us somehow, or restrict or abridge our rights somehow, कि आप इतना लंबा agreement लेके आए हो, वरना आप नहीं लाते अगर आप भरोसा करते तो. But it is not about me trusting you, right? We do not know what might happen tomorrow, right? It's a company which might, it is not just comprising of me. There are other persons also, there are other stakeholders also in the company. There are my employees that I have to take care of. There are other clients that I have to take care of. There are operational expenses. Office का मेरा rent होगा, office के expenses होंगे, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होते हैं. अगर वो सबको आप मद्देनज़र रखोगे, then having an agreement is always beneficial, ताकि आप in a situation of turmoil, in a situation when your business might be at peril, या तो आप बहुत ही एक प्रिकेरियस सिनेरियो में हो जहाँ से आप निकलने की सोच रहे हो, तो आपको ये गाइड करेगा. क्योंकि जब मैंने ये बहुत देखा है, जब अनबन होती है तो आप एक सेन कॉन्वर्सेशन नहीं कर पाओगे, आप लड़ी लोगे, ठीक है। हमेशा इट विल बी एन ही सेड शी सेड, तू मैं वाली सिनेरियो हो जाएगी और फिर फ़ोन कट हो जाएगा, ठीक है। अब इसमें एक ही चीज़ आपको एक गाइडिंग पाथ दिखा, एक ही चीज़ गीता बनती है, वो गीता है आपका अग्रीमेंट, ठीक है। गीता भी एक पन्ने का नहीं है, ठीक है। गीता उपदेश बहुत लंबा था, राइट। इट प्रोवाइड्स यू द वे टू लिव लाइफ। Similarly, exactly. Similarly, this is also providing you a way to get out of that scenario, right? So that जितने multiple scenarios आप envisage करोगे आज कि this might go wrong tomorrow, the more better it will be for you in the event of that bad event happening. अगर आप आज सोचोगे कि सिर्फ ये इकलौता गलत चीज़ हो सकती है, तो फिर आपका सोच छोटी है, right? Considering the experience, that limited experience that we have and the various problems that we have witnessed, हमें पता है क्या क्या इश्यूज आ सकते हैं. सो वी कीप टेलिंग देम कि दिस माइट ऑल्सो बी अ कंसर्न, दिस माइट ऑल्सो बी अ कंसर्न, दिस माइट बी अ रिस्क, दिस माइट बी अ रिस्क, right? If I have to just quote my father's experience, he was working in a bank, right? So there's always a risk department in a bank that always analyzes or gauges the risk prior to a loan being granted to a corporate. We are talking about corporate loans. वो रिस्क डिपार्टमेंट सबसे ज़्यादा टाइम लगाता था, ठीक है ना, कि दे कि ना दे. Now I understand why the risk department used to take time. Look at the NPAs that are there. If the risk department does a good job कि हाँ the industry का prospect ये है, the company today might be doing well, but tomorrow what might happen to the industry we don't know. Like aviation industry, it's a loss-making industry is what I've told. I don't know whether it is truly or not, but it's a loss-making industry. So while a loan is being granted by a financial company to a aviation company or a company which is in the aviation space, थोड़ा ज़्यादा तो सोचेंगे कि इसमें क्या क्या गलत हो सकता है, कल जाके क्या रूलिंग आ सकता है जिसकी वजह से इस कंपनी को कुछ भुगतना पड़ेगा, उसकी गलती के बिना भी हो सकती है. टैरिफ, नाउ ऑल द रिस्क डिपार्टमेंट्स आर थिंकिंग अबाउट टैरिफ कि अगर आ गया तो तुम्हारे धंधे का क्या होगा, राइट. इधर आ कंपनीज जिसके 80% के धंधे यूएसए पे चल रहे हैं, 70% के धंधे यूएसए पे चल रहे हैं. सडनली इफ देयर इज अ स्टॉपेज ऑफ वर्क, व्हाट विल दीज कंपनीज डू, हाउ विल दे पे बैक द लोन्स, सो ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. सो वी आर एसेंशियली द रिस्क डिपार्टमेंट.
भार्गव भाई, आज बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है लॉ के बारे में. वी आर इंजीनियर्स बट वी नॉट, मतलब आंखें खुल गई हमारी. हम भी आज तक सोचते थे कि लॉ में क्या होता होगा, आज पता है बहुत कुछ होता है लॉ में. बट मैंने एक देखा है मेरे एंटरप्रेन्योर फ्रेंड सर्कल में कि अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डोंट नो जेन्युइनली लॉ, बट इवन इफ दे नो, दे डोंट परस्यू लीगल ऑप्शंस बिकॉज ऑफ टू रीजंस. यहाँ आप बोलते हैं यार देख मेरे पास बैंडविड्थ नहीं है, 5 लाख 10 लाख का नुकसान हुआ, मैं उतना दूसरे में कमा लूंगा, यहाँ मेरा बहुत टाइम खोटी होगा यार कि मैं कितना टाइम डालूँ उसे. 5 लाख निकालने के लिए मैं 50 लाख का टाइम इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकता. और ये दो रीजंस की वजह से दे डोंट परस्यू लीगल ऑप्शंस इवन दो दे नो दैट दे हैव बीन रॉन्ग्ड. What have you to say about this? Why is the system like this?
I understand that there is an inherent hesitance in people in adopting legal remedies or exhausting legal remedies. But we need to understand that the judiciary is also changing. The way in which the judiciary is functioning today is way different as compared to what the judiciary was before. Right? Things have become a bit more fast-tracked. Right? You might have to engage a lawyer or an advocate for that matter who understands your business, who will be able to contribute before the court without your constant interference. He might not require your constant help and assistance as a crutch. आपको एक क्रच लेके उनको समझाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, उसको समझ जाना चाहिए. Should that particular person should have the capability. What you might have to do is that if you want to institute a legal case or a judicial proceeding against someone, of course, the client knows better, right? We are all lawyers for that matter. The one skill that we effectively keep honing every single day is that we should be able to connect the dots and the information that is dumped upon us from the client and translate that into a compelling argument जो हम कोर्ट के सामने रख सकते हैं. पर आपसे डेटा तो हमें चाहिए होगा, क्योंकि आपका धंधा, आपका बिजनेस, आपके साथ जो गुनाह हुआ है, आपके साथ जो रॉन्ग हुआ है, आपको ही पता है, ठीक है ना. तो आप मुझे बस बताइए. जस्ट एज यू गो टू अ डॉक्टर, द डॉक्टर विल फर्स्ट आस्क you tell me what is it that you're facing. It is on the basis of the information dumping that I'm doing over the doctor that the doctor filters it in his brain and says that okay, from what you have said, this is what my diagnosis is, right? So try to engage a lawyer who understands all of this, who's able to devote that time, and who can convert this entire information into a compelling argument. That is one. Secondly, do not be hesitant in adopting legal remedies, right? I consider it to be a black mark. The amount of money that you might spend on legal remedies is not that massive. It depends on the quantum of the dispute, right? It depends on how much is it that you have been wronged for. I'm talking about only commercial and civil disputes. Criminal disputes, please lodge a complaint immediately. Please go register an FIR. Okay? And that's an offense. That's a criminal offense. I'm talking about monetary disputes. If the monetary dispute is minimal, then I think what you might have said makes sense to an extent, that it can be let go, right? But if the monetary impact of it is massive and you feel that this is something which is atrocious, this is not acceptable, and you want to ensure that this does not happen again, and you make a statement to yourself and to everyone else कि nobody can take me for a ride in the manner कि अभी मैं जैसे आपने कर दिया, आप मुझे आप fool कर दिया वापस, I'll not be fooled, right? I'll learn, right? So there may be something good that comes out of it. The justice delivery system may be slightly slow, but the justice delivery system does deliver justice. ठीक है, आपको मिलेगा, आपको order मिलेगा. It is a slow and steady process because there's a system that is already there, and you might have to be you're a part of the system inadvertently. You can't do anything there, but yes, if there's an urgency, we have sought for urgent reliefs, we have sought for interim reliefs, और हमें मिले हैं. The courts have been very kind, the courts have been very accommodative to listen to our arguments, right? If there's an urgent relief that we are seeking, that's मिलते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके दरवाजे बंद हो जाएंगे अगर आप अडॉप्ट करोगे तो.
भार्गव भाई, एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. हम लोग जब एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय राइट्स की बात करते हैं तो अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स एम्प्लॉयज आइदर डैमेज कंपनी प्रॉपर्टी और दे लीव विदाउट रिटर्निंग कंपनी प्रॉपर्टीज. फॉर एग्जांपल, मोबाइल का चार्जर ले गए, मोबाइल ले गए, लैपटॉप ले गए कंपनी का जिसमें शायद प्रोप्राइटरी इन्फॉर्मेशन हो, एंड दिस हैज हैपेंड विद लॉट ऑफ अस. इन सच केसेस व्हाट आर द लीगल रेमेडीज फॉर द एम्प्लॉयर?
The legal remedies here are twofold. Okay. One is that we have a criminal remedy also that's available as per the criminal jurisprudence, criminal law. This is theft, right? You are committing criminal breach of trust. You might also have an intention of cheating. There are offenses made out under the Information Technology Act. So section 43, 66, all of these sections are there. So you can directly go to the nearest concerned jurisdictional police station. आप एक FIR की registration का request डालिए. Right, considering that it's a theft that has occurred, they have actually stealed and committed a robbery of your devices that hold certain confidential and proprietary information of yours, which in the event of being compromised, आपको बहुत सारा डैमेज इन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है आप पे, राइट? सो ये सब आपको एक अच्छे से एक कंप्लेंट बनाइएगा, राइट? प्रिपेयर अ पुलिस कंप्लेंट, present it before the concerned jurisdictional police officer in the station, and then seek the registration of an FIR. That is one. That's a remedy that is per se available for all of these offenses. Now, the criminal remedy that is there is only going to be penalizing the offender. That is the entire intent of criminal law. कि आप पैसे नहीं मांग रहे हो, आप बोल रहे हो इसने गलत किया है, इसको penalize करो by way of a fine or by way of putting that person behind bars. दो चीज़ें हो सकती. Now, you might also have to safeguard your confidential data. Right? In this entire process, आपने criminal law तो एक remedy आपने exhaust कर लिया. साथ ही साथ आप क्या कर सकते हैं सो दैट यू एंश्योर दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्फिडेंशियल एंड प्रोप्राइटरी इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑफ योर्स मार्केट में घूम ना जाए, जिससे मेरे और मेरे क्लाइंट दोनों को नुकसान ना हो जाए. क्योंकि इफेक्टिवली इफ यू आर अ सर्विस एंटिटी और सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, यू डू नॉट जस्ट हैव इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑफ योर्स. आपके फाइनेंशियल, आपके जो क्लाइंट्स होंगे उनकी भी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके पास होंगी, उनके सेंसिटिव डेटा भी आपके पास होगा, राइट? अज्यूमिंग दैट यू आर इन द यू आर अ KPO who's providing accounting, bookkeeping services or tech services or valuation services, outsourcing. So there are financial statements and sensitive data of your clients that are disclosed to you in confidence कि आप मेरा information safeguard करोगे. कल जाके अगर वो client को पता लग गया कि आप मेरा information, उनका information compromise हो गया है और कोई लेके भाग चुका है उस information को, he will level a multi-million-dollar lawsuit on you. Yes. Right? And you will keep defending that. So ensure that this particular information मार्केट में घूम ना जाए और इसको कोई यूज डिसमिनेट गलत तरीके से ना करे. You approach the civil court for remedies by way of an interim injunction, urgent relief effectively, wherein you say that there are certain reliefs that I'm asking for जो कि मेरे final relief होंगे, final prayers होंगे, पर आज के तारीख में the important thing that is required to be addressed by the court is that my information is compromised. आप प्लीज़ कोई एक लोकल कमिश्नर अपॉइंट करिए, आप प्लीज़ कोई आप मेरे को एक ऑर्डर दीजिए ताकि मैं वी जनरली आस्क फॉर अ लोकल कमिश्नर्स अपॉइंटमेंट, राइट? जहाँ पे हम एक लोकल कमिश्नर कोर्ट अपॉइंट करती है, जिसके पैसे जो प्लेंटिफ है जो जाता है कोर्ट में, वो नॉक्स द डोर्स ऑफ द कोर्ट, ही ओनली बेयर्स इट, ठीक है. द कोर्ट अपॉइंट्स अ लोकल कमिश्नर, नॉट अ पुलिस कमिश्नर, एन ऑफिसर ऑफ द कोर्ट who can seek assistance from the concerned police station, barge in into the houses and offices of that particular employee, take stock of the assets and keep it with itself, right? तो ये सब हम लोग कर सकते हैं टू एंश्योर कि आपका इन्फॉर्मेशन कॉम्प्रोमाइज ना हो.
ये बात हुई उस केस में जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय एसेट्स लेके चला गया है. नाउ देयर आर सर्टेन सिनेरियोज वेयर आज मेरी सैलरी हुई, मैंने अपना लैपटॉप चार्जर जो मुझे दिया था सब रखा, और कल से मेरे फोन बंद, मैं नहीं आ रहा हूँ ऑफिस. In that case, what can an employer do?
Absconding without serving notice
Absconding
period.
without serving the notice period.
But then the devices also have been taken by the employee.
No.
Devices have not
submitted.
been taken by the
हाँ.
employee.
But
So-
then again, that's a harassment that the employer is facing because तू कुछ projects कर रहा था, तेरे कुछ commitments थे, which now I will have to suffer.
Correct. Similarly, this is not a criminal. There is no criminal remedy that's
Right,
involved here. It's
right.
purely a civil offense.
Okay.
Civil offense, just as we had discussed previously, हमने सर्विस बॉन्ड की बात की,
Yes.
हमने नोटिस पीरियड की बात की, हमने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की बात की.
Yes.
ये सारी चीजें हमने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में लिखी होगी कि आपके पास राइट है निकलने का, आप आराम से निकल सकते हो. देयर इज नो बाउंडेशन, राइट? कोई बॉन्डेड लेबर वाला सिस्टम नहीं है. आप आराम से आइए, नोटिस पीरियड सर्व करिए, निकलिए इन अ प्रिस्क्राइब्ड फॉर्मेट. अगर आपने नहीं किया है, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ यू हैविंग सर्व्ड इन द कंपनी फॉर अ डे और 10 इयर्स या तो 50 इयर्स, अगर आपका एक सिस्टम है, वो सिस्टम आप फॉलो करिए. अगर आप नहीं करोगे, आई विल सीक फॉर डैमेजेस.
Any interesting cases that has happened that have happened आपके टेन्योर में जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय हैड टू कम बैक कि अब मैं रेडी हूँ सर्व करने के लिए नोटिस पीरियड?
They have not come back, but they have pleaded guilty.
Okay.
Right. They have asked for forgiveness.
Okay.
Right. See, I'm not saying this in a condescending way. Please do not misinterpret me. Right. This is not the intent and this is not the advice that we give to employers that you need to bend them to their knees. That is not the purpose of it. And no lawyer for that matter should advise in that particular manner. We are only saying that if you have been wronged, at least we can do something to make that right. In the process of that happening, things have settled. There are settlements that have happened. We have withdrawn the matters before the courts very recently. We have withdrawn matters wherein the parties have settled. And the employer also understood, was empathetic to the situation of the employee कि हमने आपसे contract के basis पे 1 लाख मांगा होगा, assuming hypothetically, but the employee came up and said that I'll settle for 50. We said okay, nothing doing. At least I can minimize my losses and mitigate the damage to at least 50%. Both the parties have settled. We jotted down, we inked down a settlement agreement, placed it before the court, and withdrew the matter. And what happens? Right, that it is always better if parties are able to settle it. Right. This proceeding will effectively provide the impetus, unknowingly or unintentionally or intentionally, for the parties to reach a settlement.
So, Bhargav ji, बहुत कुछ cover कर लिया and we had an amazing session. We are almost towards the end, and before we wrap it up, I want to understand what are those top few skills that make a good corporate lawyer, or in short, how to be a good corporate lawyer.
The career path of a good lawyer.
Yes.
Corporate lawyer.
See, I believe let's not differentiate between corporate lawyers and other lawyers. We'll take the entire community as a whole, the entire fraternity as a whole. The one thing that I can speak of myself, right, of my opinion, is that I, just as I told before, I am in love with the subject, right? I like the analysis. I love demystifying things. I love making an argument. I like unraveling and unfolding things. मुझे मज़ा आता है. It gives me a kick, right? And in the entire process, I'm able to do some good. This is one profession wherein even if your primary practice may be corporate law, it does not forbid you from taking up other matters. हम भी प्रो बोनो मैटर्स लेते हैं. किसी के भले करने वाले मैटर्स भी अगर आपको मौका मिलता है, if God has been that kind to provide you that opportunity, you can do that. There was a query that had come up. It did not fructify, but I was really looking forward to that opportunity. जहाँ पे there was a kidney transplant that was supposed to be happening. That a young boy of 21, 22 had given me a call that her mother is not keeping well and she needs a kidney transplant, and there's an act, right? There's a Human Organs Transplantation Act that governs all of this, right? To curb illicit methods, पैसे लेके जो वो transplantation हो जाता है. So that particular person came seeking a redressal of a query saying that what do I do? How do I approach the court? How is it that I can get my mother treated? I find it to be an absolute privilege to be in that particular position wherein you're getting an opportunity which is endowed to you by God, that you're able to do some good. एनी पब्लिक डिस्कोर्स में कुछ भी आपको कंट्रीब्यूट करना है, lawyers have always played that pivotal role, right? So even the father of the nation was a lawyer, right? So it is needless to mention that it is a course or it is a profession that is necessary in all walks of life, all occupations. So our clientele ranges from anything to everything. It may even be a pharma company, it may even be a service company, it may even be a laborer, it may even be a trade union, it can be anyone. It can be a hospital, it can be a theater, anyone, right? So one thing is that if you would have to be succeeding in the profession per se, in monetary terms or otherwise, or satisfaction terms, fall in love with it first. One. Second, what I practice is that I read a lot of judgments, right? Because the opinion of the court or the language that is employed by the court in rendering its analysis or in the course of demystifying the entire facts that might have been presented before it, उससे आपको समझ आता है कि आप कंस्ट्रक्ट कैसे करोगे अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट को, ठीक है ना? यू अंडरस्टैंड द वेरियस कॉन्फ्लिक्टिंग सबमिशंस दैट माइट हैव बीन गिवन बाय द प्लेंटिफ और द डिफेंडेंट, द पिटिशनर और द रिस्पोंडेंट, सो टू स्पीक, whoever the parties are. आपके पूरे जजमेंट में पूरा लिखा होगा कि एक तरफा ने क्या आर्गुमेंट दिए, दूसरे तरफे ने क्या आर्गुमेंट दिए, हाउ इज द कोर्ट इमल्सिफाइड दोज आर्गुमेंट्स, कैसे उसको ब्लेंड करके एक फाइनल एडजुडिकेशन पे पहुंचे हैं. सो आई रीड जजमेंट्स दैट डू नॉट जस्ट कंसर्न माई कॉर्पोरेट स्फीयर, but I read constitutional law judgments, I read patent law judgments, I read IP judgments, I read civil law judgments, ताकि आपका एक knowledge base बढ़ेगा, right? So I have seen, even I think very recently there was a I don't know, a podcast or a video that I had come across wherein Mr. Harish Salve was in an interview, right, with I think Mr. Goswami, Arnab Goswami. तो उन्होंने ऐसा कहा था कि we are all students of the law, right? So even a stalwart like Mr. Salve says that he's like a student of the law. So therefore you can never be a successful corporate lawyer. You'll always be a good student of the law. तो आपको, क्योंकि आप देखिए, you're also trying to understand what the labor code is, like a student. Even I am trying to understand what the labor code is as a student. We both have been informed about it yesterday.
Yes.
So and a person जो labor law practice कर रहे होंगे for the past 30 years, वो भी एक स्टूडेंट की तरह एक बुक लेके आज बैठेंगे क्योंकि उनको भी नहीं पता क्या नया लिखा है. So everybody is a student in the entire process.
हाँ, भार्गव भाई, एक बहुत कॉमन क्वेश्चन है इन एंटरप्रेन्योर सर्कल्स भी हियर कि मैंने किसी को सर्विस दी, उसको आगे उसके क्लाइंट ने पे नहीं किया, तो देन ही जस्ट रेजिस दैट यार मेरे को आगे से पे नहीं है, मैं पे नहीं कर सकता. हाउ वैलिड और लीगल इज दैट?
My observation here is again twofold. One is that if the agreement between me and you being the service provider and I being the service recipient, says that my payments to you will be remitted on a back-to-back basis, then this argument is valid. That अगर उसने मुझे पैसे नहीं दिए तो मैं आपको नहीं दूंगा, because you were very well informed in the contract that if my payment will be given to you subject to me receiving payments from the client, right? This happens in a lot number of construction and infrastructure projects contracts, wherein there is a retention amount that is always taken from the contract that is released at the very end, right? So जितना मेरा client मुझसे retain करेगा उतना ही मैं आपसे retain करूँगा. The moment that this guy releases the money to me of the retention sum, I will release the money to you. This is valid because the parties have agreed to it. So by the end of it, it's all agreement. अगर back to back word use नहीं किया है आपने and you have not explicated it in a more say easy manner in the agreement, then it is a very difficult scenario, right? अगर नहीं है, so that is not a valid argument. If it is not stated that the money is to be coming on a back to back basis and you do not know who is it that you're giving the service to, this back to back basis तब होता है जब तीनों पार्टी को पता है, ठीक है ना? Plus the initial agreement between me and the client, the service recipient and the client, will also have a clause of subcontracting the work to you, right? So there's a provision of there being a subcontractor appointed also. तो तीन लोग का एक रिश्ता यहाँ पे बना. इसमें it's a bilateral relationship. आपने ऐप बना के दिया, मैंने ऐप के लिए आपको पैसे दिए. वो ऐप का आप किसी और के लिए बना रहे हो वो मुझे नहीं पता. If I have not been informed about it, that is not my area of concern also. I am developing something for you, I have to be paid. Irrespective of whether you lose the client, whether you do not have an agreement with the client, whether whatever happens with the client, I am least concerned about it. तो आपको पेमेंट लेना बनता है.
एट द एंड ऑफ द शो मुझे पता है बहुत सारी चीज़ें डिस्कस करना बाकी हैं. MSAs, सर्विस एग्रीमेंट्स, NDAs, बहुत सारी चीज़ें, गिग वर्कर राइट्स. The audience will tell us in the comments that if they want a part 2 for this, and we would be happy to invite you again for a part 2 where we discuss all these matters. Also, Bhargav Bhai has been very kind with us, and he said that if anybody is looking for some kind of a legal advice or solution, do not hesitate. We'll put their contact details in the description of this video. You can reach out to him, and आपको कुछ भी legal अगर remedy चाहिए, he can guide you with that. इसके बाद I wanted to understand two things. What is one? So we are mantras to success. One personal mantra to success that you follow, and one mantra to success you would like to give somebody who's thinking of making a career in the field of law.
My personal mantra to success would be that read, right? Do not assume always, do not be pompous, do not feel that you're important. You're not. Okay? You're not. Please understand, keep rehearsing that in your mind that you are not a know-it-all. आपको सबकी जानकारी नहीं है. Simple. Right. Somehow at times I've seen that this profession, by virtue of the amount of power that this profession holds inadvertently, by virtue of the connections that you might develop through this particular profession, people tend to it tends to overpower their inner self. It changes your fabric. Keep your fabric simple, right? You're always below the law. You follow the law. Have fun with the law. Understand it, right? Treat it with care. Treat your profession with care. Be humble, and just read, because it is endless. In today's time, the amount of knowledge that is there in the world is just massive. Endless है. आप नहीं सोच सकते कि आपको सब पता है. वो मूर्खता होगी. ठीक है ना? तो आप बस पढ़ते रहिए, and that's what I would have to say. See, I understand that there might be a lot of people. I've seen a trend today, right? That people do not want to be adopting litigation. People do not want to be adopting going to courts, and they would rather prefer being an in-house counsel. All of that is a matter of preference. But by the end of it, whilst making those preferences, do not, if you are in the field of litigation, or if you're in the field of establishing your own practice as a lawyer, wherein you're assisting clients and it is your name that is on the line, there is a separate satisfaction which is not measurable, right? It is not measurable. Notwithstanding the fact that the amount of, no, I'm not discounting the fact that they might not be growing as lawyers as in-house counsel. This is my personal opinion, right? I've worked in firms, I've worked individually, I've worked as a litigating lawyer, and now I'm a corporate lawyer by profession. But the amount of satisfaction that you get while you're litigating before a court is not measurable. There are certain challenges, and I've heard this before also. It might be just plagiarism, but I've heard it somewhere. Ki uncertainty of revenue is a way of life, right? If you are an individual practicing advocate, वो uncertainty of revenue रहेगी, right? And एक recent judgment आया, if you have some more time, I'll just cover this very interesting thing. Recent judgment came in wherein we were talking about attorney client privilege. आपने सब सुना होगा कि आप जो advocate client का जो information है वो disclose नहीं हो सकता है, वो confidential है. हम दोनों के बीच की बात है. उस attorney client privileges में in-house counsels or lawyers working in companies, corporates are not covered by that.
Oh.
They're not considered to be advocates as per the Advocates Act, right? So, in a situation wherein the police station or any other investigating agency might call a particular advocate, they can't seek information out of me because I'm protected. Our information is protected. It's my duty as an advocate to protect the information that somebody might have disclosed to me. But the same information can be disclosed by a lawyer who's working in a corporate, right? Because they are beholden to their employer. We are not, right? So advocates are not. So वही है कि uncertainty of revenue रहेगी, but that's the fun in it, right? And I have to be very honest. I'm making no bones about it. I have been slightly privileged. I have to accept that. If you have that privilege, exhaust this particular profession by resorting to litigation and establish a private practice. It will really help you. It will give you that satisfaction. If not, then after a couple of years, you can definitely circle back. Right.
Thank you for being so honest, and because I personally know a lot of people into this industry. जो अभी and a lot of law students who are currently contemplating कि क्या करना है, litigation में जाना है, नहीं जाना है, करना क्या है, because a corporate firm gives you a lot of money, but litigation gives you a lot of uncertainty before you start. So I think someone who has actually listened to this podcast will benefit a lot out of it, be it an employee or an employer, or anybody who's wanting to pursue
And
that.
I am sure, based on the audience's feedback, we'll have to do a part 2 of this podcast.
Definitely.
Be honored.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Namaste.